They say that studying abroad changes you. And as it is with most cliché things, this, of course, turns out to be true. Sure, you learn of other cultures and become more independent. You see more of this world and you realize you're such a small part in it. But what I did not expect to learn or realize is that I had been living, but only half alive. I know that might seem like a strange thing to say, but please, let me explain why it is that I feel this way. I met this girl on the coast my first week here in Spain, and she said something to me that got fixed in my brain. What she said to me is that if we could remove the goggles of habit, we would be overwhelmed with ecstasy. 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 In truth, the word seemed strange to me as I sat with her on the coastline of a country I'd never seen before. Ecstasy is what I'd been feeling since I walked through the plane doors. But that's the point. Nothing in my life was routine or commonplace. That's why just a walk down the street could make my heart race. I was 20 and dropped into a city on a foreign shore. Down every street, on every corner, there was something new to explore. From the curve of each building to the sidewalk I stepped on, every second was an opportunity to have my life's currency spent on. But as time went on and my actions became habit, I hate to say it, but I began to lose a little of that ecstasy and the complexity of this planet. I was familiar now with the curve of my street, and I didn't notice the sidewalk's pattern beneath my feet. A walk through my neighborhood was just a way to get to where I needed to be. I didn't stop to notice the stone carvings anymore. I didn't wonder who they used to be. The goggles crept back over my eyes, and I was living, but only half alive. And I think there's a problem with this way of thinking. It makes us feel that the only time we're alive instead of simply living is when we're off on some grand adventure or some far-off shore. It strips away the beauty in the everyday, and it always leaves us wanting more. See, the majority of our lives are mundane and habitual, so what a tragedy it is to get caught in this perpetual loop of complacency and unconscious indifference. So can we change our fates? Or are we doomed? Are we Icarus? This lifelong labor against lassitude and lethargy, it makes us forget about the beauty and simplicity. So I could show you what you'd expect to see from a 20-year-old semester in Spain. But I'd rather show you what I've learned to see. The magic in the mundane. Now, don't get me wrong, I've seen things in my time here that I never thought I'd get to see. I've met people and been places that make me forget how to breathe. But my breath has also been hitched by the way raindrops stick to the petals of flowers. The intricate parts of this city that must have taken hours to carve or to mold or to chisel out of stone. It's the tree bark that lets force speak without tongues, or the Spanish guitar in the light of the setting sun. It's the lizards that stopped and talked to me as I sat on a stone looking out at the valley. The life that springs forth through the cracks in the pavement, the succulents growing out of cliffs and embankments. It is the feeling of friends who understand who you are before you do, and that one person who reminds you that home is not a place that you can travel to. It is cheap wine and good conversations. It is falling into this world with no expectations. It is the fact that you and I are nothing less than remnants of cosmic rust. We are biological manifestations of pure stardust. The odds of your birth are 400 trillion to 1. Nothing, not one moment of this life should be considered humdrum. These are the things I remember the most when I think back to what that girl said on the coast. Living life to its fullest would surely be a lie if I still had those goggles fixed to my eyes.